I just have a really strong opinion that the commercial fitness industry owes it to our employees, owes it to our labor force to provide the necessary tools and platforms to conduct the labor that we expect. I really believe that.
This is All Things Fitness and Wellness, hosted by Chrissy Van. Together, we're uniting industry thought leaders and fitfluencers on the mission to inspire innovation and encourage people to live a life fit and well. On today's episode, we welcome Amira Polack, the visionary founder of Struct Club. When Amira got into group fitness instructing, her eyes were open to the fact that playlist curation and class structure were all happening on her own dime and her own time. Convinced there must be a better way, she set out to find tools to rectify this. And when she couldn't find software in the market to meet her needs, she created it. On this episode, you'll learn the story of how a set of self-professed listening tours brought Struct Club to life, which has now been downloaded in over 70 countries to help fitness instructors around the globe. Before we get to it, be sure to hit like and subscribe. We have new podcast episodes weekly featuring industry thought leaders and influencers. I'm your host, Chrissy Van, and this is ATFW. Well, Amira, I am so excited to have you here, mainly because we had the opportunity to meet in person quite recently in DC for the HSA fly-in, which was a newer experience for yourself. We were surrounded with tons of executives from coast to coast, amplifying the message of the fitness industry. But you were joining us on behalf of Struct Club, which you have created. So first of all, busy times for you. Thank you for joining us on All Things Fitness and Wellness.
Thanks so much, Chrissy, for having me.
I'm really happy that we had the chance to have a conversation because I feel like you are going to be able to offer us this really unique perspective on the industry, because not only are you someone that has really made people's lives a lot easier through the app that you offer, your whole premise of Struct Club was born out of you personally encountering a very big problem when you were starting your life as an instructor. So first of all, what got you into wanting to be a fitness instructor in the first place?
Fitness, for those of us in the industry, it can be a great way, just like a conversational topic, to connect with folks in general, and movement. And in the case of the fitness that I love and that we love at Struct Club, moving to music specifically, I found is such an incredible connection point. And there's some facets of my own story that I find can be common across other entrants to, whether it's just like fitness in their life or fitness professionals themselves. So to your question, getting started in the fitness industry, it was actually like even predated by getting started in fitness in a consistent way. I have to admit that as an adult, it really took me some time, like a few years, to find my own groove, to find my own routine in fitness. It was not an automatic thing. I grew up, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I come from a half Filipino, half Jewish American family. And growing up, one of the ways that that cultural mix contributed to my life was that anytime I was outside of school, my family was pretty serious about putting me in things like music lessons. I was involved in dance lessons as well, and ended up at the high school level being competitive in those fields. And then just being in California, in LA, there are a lot of swimmers and outdoor athletes just outside of school. And so swimming was my sport. I swam competitively from elementary school all the way through high school. And so with organized activities and things like extracurriculars and teams like the swim team, it was just a lot more simple growing up to have a routine and to have that schedule. As an adult, I was very much missing that team environment. I didn't really have an automatic avenue to pursue music. And so going to, say, in my first corporate job at SAP, which is a business software company, I would go to the corporate gym, but I just wouldn't feel so inspired by jumping on the treadmill and walking around or running around by myself. Or I didn't really know what to do and how to filter through all of the maybe like YouTube videos and things that recommended workouts. And things really changed for me when one of my best friends actually took me to my first spinning class. And it was really kind of like the first time that as an adult, I was in this group environment. It was kind of like similar to a swim team environment. You're swimming on your own, but you're in a group, and we were doing everything to music. And I think that for me as an adult was when it finally clicked and I found something that I could actually really look forward to doing and just incorporate in my routine on a day-to-day basis. So that was really the first big step, and like the biggest hurdle in my adult life was just getting into a fitness routine. And then when I decided to, I think just like over time, as somebody who loves music, I had this building curiosity of like, what would it be like to curate these classes or to be an instructor? I'm the oldest sister of three. I'm used to being a big sister and just kind of like leading our little pack and like mentoring and coaching and things like that. I don't know. It just sparked when, like in one class one day. I can't tell you what exactly it was that did it.
I love that though, because it shows just how much it resonated with you. And I completely relate, minus the fact I actually wasn't good at any team things growing up. I tried out for all of them, but sports just was not my forte. And although I've fallen in love with the gym, I love lifting weights, that was really empowering for me. I also remember the first time I entered a boutique studio, a rhythm spin class, and you were like, holy shit. Like the community is so energetic. The music is amazing. For an entire hour, I think it was the first time that I did exercise and didn't look at a clock at any point in my experience. You're just in the rhythm, in flow with people, but also having your own challenge. And it really is this incredible formula and an amazing alternative to some other ways we would spend our time as well. I think these spaces are quickly being cultivated instead of going to a bar or a club. Like people are meeting up as a social avenue for their spin class. So you tapped into the power of that. You decide you want to instruct, but as we know, it's very different from going in the seat and hearing, all right, we're going to stand in 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually leading it and doing it. So tell me about the process of learning how to be an instructor and in that teacher's seat.
In my case, one of my younger sisters, she was already teaching fitness,
Oh,
and there was a
nice.
spin class that we were attending together. I just kind of asked her, I'm like, "So what did you do? What did you do to like end up teaching fitness?" And she recommended actually like going to, at the time that I was asking this, I was in grad school. I was getting my master's in business administration, and she was like, check your school gym's website. Do they have any requirements there? They actually didn't. Can you like, is there somebody to email and ask about it? So I did, and specifically, I like was interested in like teaching spin. And I asked what the requirements were. So they just emailed them to me. They were like, there's just a short list of certifications that the club accepted, as well as a CPR and AED for. So I mentioned this for those who are listening or viewing who would be interested. I always recommend now, and I've written a couple of blogs on this because people will ask this all the time. So you want to be a fitness instructor? What do you do? And I think like the first thing is that I've noticed now, fast forward, and now that we work with so many studios and clubs, the employment requirements vary a lot.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of places that have their own in-house training now. And so you don't want to like over prepare or under prepare for the role that you're going for. And so just checking with the employer if there's a place specifically that you want to teach, I think it's just always the way to go, because I've seen just such a diverse range of employment requirements.
It's hard when it's not universal as well, that it's not blanketed under one umbrella, because exactly that. You may have certs for one destination, and then if you're looking to pivot, all of a sudden you realize, even though you feel qualified, you don't have X or Y. But for yourself, I think there was a big, and I know that we talked about this when I met you. You get into this role, and then there was a piece of the puzzle that you thought would be in place and had to learn hard and fast that it was not. So tell me what happens here.
So I love this. Yeah, I love this story, and I love how you just teed that up, because it's just some of the funniest situations in life are just the difference between expectation and reality. And so, for those maybe who are like outside the industry or who haven't taught, you would probably expect, I mean, at least I did in this day and age now. Actually, rewind when I started teaching, it was back in 2017, the modern era. It's like you think your job as a coach, say as an indoor cycling instructor, is you get up there, maybe you've got some input in the playlist that's happening. You decide, what are the motivational like mantras that we're going to be using today, or like what is it that we're going to say to motivate people today, and that's pretty much it. Oh, no, 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 no. You have to invent, like, there's the workout component, there's like the DJ and a playlist component. There's the interactivity and increasing expectation for interactivity and really choreography between those two elements. There is also the script, and the script is very much encompassing of not just what you're going to say, but like if you think about the script of like an actor, in a production, it's what you're going to be doing, like all the operational process, like where you're going to be in the room at a given point in time. And then throughout, there's always like some improvisational element. And by the way, one thing that I've learned over time, that if a workout is really great, going from good to great, like an experience, always having some kind of through line or a theme or some cohesion point, that say like a goal set or some training purpose that ties everything together. All of that, I mean, I kind of thought there'd be a lot of just, workouts. Classes have been coached a bajillion times. There's many coaches that are out there. There'd just be some database of like crowd generated content. I was just looking, and there really wasn't.
You're like, there's going to be a blueprint and a map that I follow, right? And they're like, actually, no, we're going to plonk you here and you're going to choose your own adventure. And
Right?
that time also not paid, correct?
Oh, oh my goodness.
It's important to highlight because you and I had a whole conversation about this.
It's a big conversation. It's a when I talk about secrets behind the industry, it's just one of those things I really didn't realize before jumping in on the other side.
So it's basically you're required to do all of that prep, curate playlists. What are the movements that are going to go with it? What's the scripts going to look like? And all of that's happening on your own time so that when you walk into the space and you are on payroll, you're just delivering an experience, which I think you and I had a really deep discussion about it. And I think it is important to say that generally in boutique fitness, and obviously it's welcoming and all encompassing to every individual, but it is quite dominated by women in that space. And sadly, we look at those pay discrepancies in those spaces because, to your point, that's a lot of work and effort to be doing on your own time. And I get that a lot of people enter the space. You're a shining example of it. I went, it resonated. I know that it's changed my life in a capacity I can change and have an impact on other people's lives. But I think it's important for us to not tie our impact with other people's lives for $0. And so this is where your light bulb starts to go on because you realize the thing that I thought existed didn't exist. So what starts to turn in your head at that point?
Yeah, and I think even like kind of flipping this a bit, and then the context of just like starting with one of the questions that you really kind of embedded in there, I just have a really strong opinion that the commercial fitness industry owes it to our employees, owes it to our labor force to provide the necessary tools and platforms to conduct the labor that we expect. I really believe that. And that is what is done in every other industry. Now, I know we're a really kinesthetic industry and there's like a lot of feel it. Oh, and there are a lot of instructors who want to be creative. That's great. But there are so many elements that go into creating class. I'm just gonna tell you, every time there is a claim that is made by an instructor for like pay for that labor that they did, there's also a risk management issue. Like, make sure you're protected as an employer, and as a business. The instructor, the coach, always wins, always, because it is real and required labor to do the work that they're required to do. And it's so simple now. And, little commercial for Struct Club, but there are also other solutions out there to provide ready-made baseline material and make it really clear that, for those of us who do like to go above and beyond and curate playlists in additional time, or like just think about programming in our additional time, that it's like really clear that that is, on your own, like voluntary effort. Because otherwise, I mean, just let me tell you, I've worked at university and collegiate recreation centers. I've worked at corporate facilities. I've worked at boutiques. I've worked at budget clubs, luxury clubs, and community recreational centers. I'm not going to name names, but in every instance, I've been required to do 100% of the programming from scratch, no templates provided. That's your job. And, luckily, having over time built Struct Club, I now have a repository of my own programming for myself as a coach. And so, I still teach classes today. It's just my passion. Going across like a few different clubs and locations that I was teaching at this past week, I used the same, I recycled a program, or reused a program, if you will. All of the members were completely different. And every single one of them was experiencing it for the first time. And it enabled me too to like refine and elevate the way that I coach. Practice makes perfect. So let me get back to the question of getting the wheels turning and what actually kind of like lit the match, if you will, under my butt to actually do this and to do something. I had been teaching for 6 months. There's this point as a coach in your building and growth journey where you start to develop regulars, if you will. They're the people who come back to your classes again and again. And it maybe took like 6 months to develop that really like super consistent group of regulars. And I had to go out of town for a week. That's something that happens in instructional. Maybe you get sick, maybe, I don't know, something happens and you need to like find a substitute for your class. So we did, that was great. Person with tons of experience. I emailed them the, kind of like what the students expected. It was a multi-generational, multicultural group, like multiple abilities levels in our group. So the playlist and the work, actually the programming reflected that. And we had developed a pretty like custom and specific structure for that like community over time. We'd focus like one day of the week on personal records, another day of the week we'd focus on teamwork, and another day of the week we would focus on conditioning. And we'd go through that on a weekly basis. So when I was gone that week, I got a lot of angry emails from my members being like, Amira, what the hell? Why didn't you leave the instructor with the programming? Like, this is terrible. Everybody's leaving. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening? And for those of you who teach, I don't know, maybe this is a classic story for those who manage like GroupFitness. You're like, well, this is what happens with subs. I got back and I was like, well, like 60% of my regulars were gone. And I'm like, this is kind of a problem. Like, put a pin in that. Like, this is a really big business problem, like, question mark. I started I just go first foremost before like anything, jumping in with like any kind of advocacy. I'm like going on a listening tour. I'm like, what was happening? I was like, asking my members, was the workout bad? And they were like, no, actually it was really great. I burned more calories in the subs class. I rode more distance. Like they really put together a better workout than you. I'm like, okay, well, that's great. You got a great workout in. I'm really happy. Was the coach like mean or something? Is that why people left? Like, no, the coach was great. Like super nice, really, really talented. I'm like, okay. So the workout was great. The coach was great. 60% of you are still gone. What am I missing here? And they're like, well, the structure of it was really different. The music wasn't what we expected. And this coach, like, they just use the same exact workout and the same music. like every single day, and they didn't go together, or the music was all one note, and da da da. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk to this coach. What is going on and what happened there? Like, I always have like different playlists and things. And the coach was like, well, I have when it comes to cycling, I have my one workout. I have my one playlist because I teach full time and I teach all kinds of things. And I'm like, well, that's really reasonable. So it was all like everything was all like very reasonable. They were not going to coach from an email that I sent them. That's like how do you do that's like not professional. And even playlists with that I had pre-made for them. It's like, well, I've never listened to this stuff. How do I know what goes where? And without any other information of like what's happening in the music. So that was just kind of the first point, that like 60% number. It made me really curious and really skeptical that this could be, just like group fitness going through like substitutes, that this was just like a sustainable like business proposition for any club, for any studio, and the importance of not just having a great workout and a great coach, but really having a consistency in style and in like use and genres of music and how movement is paired with music, that looking into the future, when we think about as a fitness industry, as fitness professionals, as fitness enthusiasts who are thinking about becoming, jumping into the industry, what does the future of our consumer look like? And the expectations are so much higher than they've ever been.
We have to remember too what it takes for people to enter that space consistently. We know by the statistics. What if you had just a couple members that are that 80% that are finally crossing over, and then they have that experience that didn't quite fulfill their expectations or needs? And at the end of the day, people generally don't love change. I think that entrepreneurs absolutely, and that's why they're entrepreneurs, because you're marry discomfort and you're willing to take risks. But the majority of the populace is like, this is what I do, this is what I want to feel like, this is how I want it to expect. And if that doesn't align, all of a sudden I'm in discomfort in a space that I go to unwind and relax. So you can really understand that consumer journey and that disconnect, which on paper almost feels so subtle, but you realize this is a way bigger issue. So, what is the point that you actually decide to start building Struct Club, and how do you all of a sudden become this techpreneur?
What was the exact point in time? I think, while I was away on that trip where I needed the substitute coach, I was really kind of thinking of what am I going to do for my next internship or my next role? I think when I got back and actually started talking to like the members and what they expected, back to that theme of like, going on a listening tour before, I don't know, like going forth with a game plan. I like wondered if I could get any resources to do market research. So at the time I was attending Harvard Business School, and I just kind of like looked around to see if they had any entrepreneurial like funds or opportunities or like research, any resources or like advisors who would enable me to just like spend some time looking into just the big question mark of like what is going on in tech, specifically software and business software in the fitness industry. And I found this organization on campus called the Rock Center. They had a kind of a fellowship for just stuff just like this. What is it that I need to know and should be asking before jumping into a venture? I was really just curious about the appetite of fitness clubs, facilities, gyms, boutiques. I went and posted on social media, does anybody know anybody who works in the fitness industry? I want to talk to them. And I think over the
Amazing.
course of 3 months, I interviewed like 250 different individuals. I went to as many, I just like went on ClassPass and just bought a bunch of like one-off classes, just went to as many facilities as I could in the area. It was, I got quite, quite fit, like quite quickly, getting my butt kicked all around town. It was just going, observing, and finding just, the key insights there that they're like booking platforms and solutions. Fitness had very much through software figured out ways to collect money, which is a basic, and revenue, which is a basic, and spend it too, just basic business operations. But there wasn't really anything. There's a big gaping hole when it came to actual like software platforms at the time that helped to really like elevate and control and scale the actual product of the experience.
So, what did you build for people that aren't familiar? Explain Struct Club and how it works.
Yeah, so Struct Club stands for bringing structure, infrastructure to group fitness instruction. Struct Club today, you can actually download it on the App Store for free. It's an app that is an assistive tool for group fitness instructors. There are kind of three key components of the platform. One is that when you jump into the Struct Club app, there's a library of ready-made class. We call them templates. And each template is composed of really like three things. One, there's the workout. Two, there's the playlist. And three, there's all of the cues like coaching notes, like scripts that you need that are timed to the music. The second component of the app is that it all plays back in class. Imagine yourself coaching a class. You hit play, it cues your music, either Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, and it plays back your cues kind of like a music synced teleprompter. So there's that in-class support piece. So, you can look back, have like a screen to just like quickly reference, like, where am I? What are we doing? When? Exactly how long? What's coming up next? What do I say? When's the countdown to the beat drop? What have you? And anytime that you're like, ooh, what's next? Or I don't want to think through that, or I like need to be with members and clients and not really in my head about programming, that assistive piece has got you in class. And then the third component is actual class building tools. So in the app, for those who are creative or you want to edit the templates, like you can completely create classes from scratch. You can edit things. You can mix and match components of classes with components of other classes. And there are ways that we also actually automate class curation as well, as we learn the patterns of an individual creator, but also we've been partnering with a growing number of brands themselves, facilities, studios. Sometimes they identify as franchisors, where we just automate class curation based on a template or a set of templates that the brand has, so they can have their own private team library that where the style of the content really fits and is controlled by the brand.
Well, and I know that you've had tremendous success. And I mean, this is what happens when you take passion, a problem that exists, get curious about the problem, and find the solution. So you get to this point that you find the solution. But talk to me a little bit about implementing it into studios. How did you get the word out and how was it received? Because I don't remember the exact number you gave me, but your app is downloaded in how many countries?
70 plus.
Yeah. So that's like an impressive feat. So how did you go from idea to getting to that 70 plus countries?
It has been a long road the past 6 years. Let me tell you, I think, a lot of really most entrepreneurship and startups are not an instant success. And in no way I would be lying to you if I were to say instantly Struck Club was a success and it was so easy. No. So yeah, where the growth really started from, I think for those in like fitness instructor land, and even in the group fitness game, grassroots, grassroots, grassroots. It's really a theme. I mean, every single individual, like person, human being, and their success really matters. And I mean, when it came to product development, we were literally, I was going to other folks' classes. I was going to all my colleagues' classes where I was teaching, talking to them about their process, what it is that they were using and what they specifically needed. I literally took pieces of paper with drawings of the app before launching any kind of app and just ask for folks, feedback. And there was kind of a point where a few people started to ask, well, when can I have this? Can I download it? I launched like a kind of crappy Wix website with like a Google sign up form, like, hey, anybody want this? Join our
Yes.
beta. And like literally, we just shared it with those few people. My sister who worked at American University at her gym, she like shared it with her colleagues. It literally just started from that. Those people that I was meeting, like via social media posts, asking friends and contacts to connect me with people in the industry, just initially sharing it with those folks. I think for those who are students or live maybe nearby to like a school, a university, or a college, when you think about networks and distribution, I always like to think about nodes, like where do people gather? And it is a really great idea if you have an entrepreneurial like venture idea while you're in college or you're getting a degree or you're in school, to let the other students in your community know, because you just have a crowd that's there.
Yeah, so
Um,
true.
but really, let me tell you, it has all been word of mouth. Those have been the best
Amazing.
referrals. I've, personally, and I see this with entrepreneurs in any industry, just hit the ground with industry events. You just go, you show up. Fitness people are very like physical, in person people. Let me tell you how much better the conversations are, like hang out with somebody in person versus on Zoom. It is like so much more
Yes.
productive, and people just really appreciate it when you show up to their place of business and you like give them some support, right? That's their well-being and their livelihood and their life's work and mission. So it initially, like, that is slow going, but that is what has led to us being shared from like customer to customer to customer to new community member to like, some of those community members then asking, hey, I have a studio. Can I get this for my instructor team? Yes, of course. Them posting about us just because they're so happy. It's interesting. I'll see a lot of content that's out there like, here's the formula for entrepreneur. Here's the surefire entrepreneurial formula. Here's the path to success. I have it. Here it is.
Anyone
And
that's trying to sell it is generally full of shit. I'm
every
like,
company is different, especially if you are somebody out there who is innovating, you're thinking of something new, you think the world should operate, or an industry, or like, I don't know, a small bubble, like corner of your universe should operate in a different way. There's like a reason that what you're doing hasn't existed yet. So what you're going to have to do is going to need to be unique in its own way. And like, listening, gathering. I think listening is another word for, in entrepreneur land and in startup land, gathering data, like gathering the information that you need to move forward. That has been just a really critical theme through the journey.
well, and just having that ability to build on the momentum. I mean, it really takes a lot, as you said, 250 visits in that short span of time. I mean, you really were laying the groundwork and foundation, and it's often difficult to be that and to do that when you don't have the momentum or the evidence yet, but you had this deep belief and you knew from the listening, you're like, this is something that's needed. So I'm going to just have to keep banging on doors. And eventually, the momentum, you've added exponent after exponent through your consumers that have been exceptionally happy with the product. As you look forward, what is your vision or that big pie in the sky that you're kind of after? In because I know the thing is, when you have a mind like that, generally you're like, well, I'm not done.
One of the things that we like to say at Struct Club as a one-liner is we're reprogramming the industry. We're reprogramming the fitness industry. I think there have been folks who I think these are really great analogies. They've called us the GitHub of the fitness industry. And GitHub, for those who aren't familiar, it's a platform that software developers, that programmers use to program. We're, any content provider, and we have some really fun partnerships that we're going to be announcing from brands that are leaders in programming. any brand can host content on Struct Club to make instructors successful. We just, we provide the tooling. We provide a limited amount of content. A lot of it is user generated content from the community, and we pay those creators to as they should be paid, in order to share their community with fellow subscribers of the platform. And we release those pieces on a weekly basis, and we keep them seasonal. But I think stepping back, every time that somebody walks into a gym or a boutique or a mom and pop or a larger big box club or any fitness facility where they're going to a group class, I really believe that that experience should be unique. It should be special. It should be specific to the brand. People shouldn't be able to find, say you're running a facility or operating a facility or you're a coach. Nobody should be able to find the experience that you have anywhere else because of the special marriage of those programming components that we talked about. The workout itself, the music itself, the big idea, the theme, and the script that's happening, and that should accentuate the unique personality of the coach and incorporate really like specific like needs, desires of the folks who are in the room. And that is how, as businesses in the fitness industry, we will be able to compete, but also just provide the maximum value that we can for our communities. Because these days, I mean, and especially accelerated by the combination of the pandemic with like social technologies that are out there, just platforms, you can find a workout anywhere, a great one for free.
Yeah, I mean, you could use AI to be your personal trainer specific to your exact needs. I mean, the thing that we know though is exactly that. It is the experience, and people want to feel, humans by nature just want to be connected to something and to have something that fills their and resonates with their values. And that is what these facilities are really able to offer, and something that you can't just get online at the end of the day. And I think that you are just this incredible part that's allowing more people to do that better, because it's like they were doing what they could with what they had, but unfortunately there's a lot of unpaid labor that was the result of that. And now you're giving people a tool that kind of marries all of what you know to be the formula and the recipe while not compromising their individuality, which I think is what's so important. One of the things that you had mentioned is attending a lot of industry events. And I know you and I distinctly had a conversation about there's a little bit of old school mentality in a lot of these upper levels of the industry, just by nature of where things are at. So what are some of the things that you observe that maybe we're missing out of the big picture when it comes to getting that 80% moving? Like, what is the disconnect that you feel? Because the statistics have not changed for years and years and years. So is there something in this big picture that we're missing or maybe not conveying that well?
I think in the fitness industry, we're on the precipice, like right now, and are seeing a ton of industry turnover between just kind of an old school mentality of providing fitness and really moving into the future, kind of a turnover of new business owners, innovative executives in the industry that are serving. And this kind of goes back to a piece of our conversation earlier, a new higher, way higher, I would say 10x standard of expectation. And there are just going to be those that don't survive. The like kind of shedding in the industry has been happening. And with the exception of, I want to recognize and acknowledge that the pandemic took like such a massive financial toll on the fitness industry in ways that, created and just, if you didn't have like access to funding in the way that big brands have, then it's just, you were really like on your own with little to no assistance to figure out how to survive on your own. And there is just a reality that, like, for independent like owners and operators, there's like only so much that like financially you can be able to take on your own. I'm not talking about that segment of the audience. I'm talking about kind of like these bigger legacy players that, you know, we if unless we see an adaptation and really thinking about, I mean, I think it's, Chris, it goes to all the things that you were saying about what it is that people need today and what they're looking for in a total 360 experience. They're looking to feel better. That's a huge one. I think like one of the big topics that I was really glad to see when we got together last time in DC during our learning sessions was the importance of mental health. I think that has been really completely ignored for so long, but is incredibly important when we think about shaping the next generation experience. There's also so much that's happening in technology and health and being able to like determine just scientifically like the state of one's physical health, that if we're not like we're either not incorporating or not like differentiating from, like drawing into and digging into that like community aspect of group fitness. How do we really develop that today? How do we really like even keep up with, there's a lot of like programming that we see out there, it just doesn't, it's not incorporating the fact that everybody's just like, I mean, just wearing Apple watches in the studio, and like people can kind of, they can kind of tell when you say something as like, we're going to be doing something for a minute and ends up being a minute and 30 seconds, or if you're taking people through, well, hey, it's a recovery right now, but they're like, well, my heart rate's not recovering. So a different level of accountability as well. I think one thing that can really help us all is just like, and this is going back to one of your earlier points, putting ourselves in the shoes of our consumers, jumping into like a class, like walking into a new facility for the first time ourselves. I think just even doing that once, let alone doing that on a regular basis, say like once a week or once a month, alone is like very illuminating. And then the last piece I'll say there is Gen Z. They expect something completely different.
Yes.
The demographics are more diverse than ever. They're in tune with a lot more than I think they're given credit for. They are just so, I mean, just like digital nativity, like through and through. And I think we need to talk to them more, because what they're going to need is like really different, and it's going to be like very demanding for the industry if we're not keeping in touch and in tune with that.
Yeah, I agree with that last point so much. And like, they're also the generation that will call you on your shit. Like, they will show you with their dollars very quickly. So, at the end of the day, not just putting yourself in fresh shoes walking to the gym, but educating yourself, or even like use like make a target group and bring them in and ask them questions. Like, it's exactly what you said, doing that curiosity and deep listening. What do you want? What resonates? What doesn't hit? Because at the end of the day, if you don't get curious about the questions, sadly your answer is going to come in a result you probably don't want. So this is going to be a good way to avoid that. I've so enjoyed learning about your story because, as I say, we sat down and I was actually Jeff Soulsby with the HSA that was like, you have to talk to her. And then we did. And I was just like, what a fantastic story. I love people that have that moment of recognition that something is missing. And then you just had this incredible tenacity to actually bring it to life. For yourself, what would be a final nugget of wisdom that you'd like to leave us with? Because I always like to fuel people's day. So it's either a mantra that served you on the way or just that final note of something that we can use to fuel our day.
There are so many. It's like my job as a coach
I was
to
gonna say, I was like,
to
you're like, "Ooh, which
motivate.
template do I take this from?"
No, and I do it every day. They're different types of mantras. And definitely one of them is that you just miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. I think there's a lot of, especially for those of us who are women entrepreneurs, there can be this just like social programming that we have to be like even more perfect. You have to, be all of the things. You have to be smart and you have to look good and you have to, every single thing has to be perfect. And the reality that I've seen in entrepreneur land is that there are a lot of things that get funded, for those of us like women who are going out for like say venture capital funding, that like fewer than just like less than 2% of all venture capital funding goes to women entrepreneurs in general, is that, yeah, like the rest of the 98%, let me tell you, they're not perfect. And they're not expected to do probably like half as much as you're doing. Women found more like profitable companies faster. It's shown to be a thing. We're like a really high performing segment of the entrepreneurial space. So for those who are listening, I get asked to mentor at, I'm locally in LA. This is where I'm based, like UCLA, Bruin Entrepreneurs, and just like other student programs. I find I need to be like especially encouraging for those of our audiences who are hopeful women entrepreneurs to just like get out there, try something. As long as you're serving and creating an impact, that is an important thing, and a purpose point that is going to carry you. There's also like always luck involved. I'm not going to deny that. There's like luck and timing, and there are just things out there that you can't control. But from what you can, just letting that purpose and that impact drive what it is that you're doing, that's really what matters at the end of the day.
I love that, Amira. And on that note of luck and timing, I agree with you. However, I feel like, well, I know that won't come into play if you don't enter the arena.
Bingo.
So it's like, just put yourself out there. At the end of the day, I can think of nothing more sad than an idea that lights or illuminates, in your words, inside, and not allowing that to at least just see what happens if I cast the light outward, because incredible things happen and you're a shining example of that. So thank you so much for joining us today. How can people find out more about Struct Club if you have sparked some interest?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chrissy, for having me. First of all, it's just always such a great conversation when we're talking together. I just really enjoy it and value it. For those who are interested in Struct Club, we're at www.structclub.com. We're on Struct Club on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. We're also on LinkedIn. I don't know, like any channel that is your preferred channel. If you actually, even if you DM Struct Club and you're like, hey, Amira, like, our team will flag me and I will respond. If you want my personal email for work, it's Amira, Amira, at structclub.com. Contact me anytime.
Brilliant. And we'll make sure to have that in the show notes as well, in case you're listening to us on the road. Don't want you distracted, so just make sure that you come visit us again, and we'll make sure to have that all there for you. Thank you again so much.
Thanks, Chrissy.
You've just listened to the All Things Fitness and Wellness podcast, hosted by Chrissy Van. This episode was brought to you by Fitness World, your fitness, your way. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. We have new podcast episodes weekly featuring industry insiders and influencers. Together, we're on a mission for everyone to live a life fit and well.